This
Wow, I like your computer.
Oh, thank you. Welcome, everybody. This is The World is a Mess, and I just want to steampunk it. This is episode 14, January 17th, 2021. And I'm here with, this is Steampunk Starraisin, and I'm here with Daniel, Daniel's Hot Topics in Ontario, Canada. I'm here in North Hollywood. But yeah, you commented on my computer. Yeah, this is a Dell Precision. There's nothing wrong with it. It works. I'm just upgrading it. This is going to be my girlfriend's computer. I'm just selling it to her at cost. I'm not making a profit off of it. I just got to break even on the cost of the parts. But it is a Dell Precision T3500 workstation computer. In 2012, it was a brand new, very high-end workstation, like $5,000 computer. But today, you can buy a bare bone version of this on like eBay for $50. Now, the bare bone version doesn't come with like a video card. A lot of times only comes with a dual core processor and 4 gigs of RAM. But you can actually put an SSD. You can actually put a 6-core CPU in this thing. Excuse me. But the CPUs for this computer, because it's a socket 1366, are very, very cheap. You can get like a 6-core processor for like 20, 25 bucks. That's pretty decent at gaming. And now this computer is not compatible with newer AMD graphics cards because they don't have legacy BIOS support, because this doesn't have an EFI BIOS. But it is compatible with newer NVIDIA graphics cards. NVIDIA graphics cards are generally better for gaming than AMD. But yeah, I have installed a RTX 2060. My girlfriend paid for it. It's going to be her computer anyway. And I'm in the process. I'm going to remove this. So I've got the side off right now. Right here is the mechanical hard drive. I'm going to remove the mechanical hard drive, put in a 1 terabyte SSD as a boot drive. And right now it's got a quad core in it. It originally came with a dual core, but I'm going to upgrade it and put a 6-core CPU in it. You can take the power supply out of a Dell Precision T3500 and upgrade it that way, because the T5500 has an 875 watt power supply. This has only 525 watts. So this little square box right here, I'm going to replace that with an 875 watt. The power supply is proprietary. The motherboard is proprietary, but it is a very good open-ended modular computer. The only drawback is that, what it doesn't have that modern computers have is it doesn't have an M.2 slot for SSD. It doesn't have USB 3.0. The front USB ports and the back USB ports are USB 2.0. But overall, it is a decent machine. You can add in a USB expansion card. You can add in a front USB 3.0 panel, which I plan to do. So I'm going to be adding USB 3.0 ports to this. And I'm going to be adding an upgraded power supply, upgrade the CPU, upgrade to 16 gigs of RAM. And now, so for a few $100, you got a decent computer. This was a super high-end workstation in 2012. Like, these computers were built from 2009, the Dell Precision T3500. There's different variants of it. But you can flash the BIOS to get it more up-to-date and more compatible with modern hardware. But there was a variant of this that came out in mid-2009 that had Windows Vista on it. There was another variant of this that came out in like late 2009, 2010 that had Windows 7 on it. And then I've even seen some variants of this that came out in like 2012 that had Windows 8 on it, that had like a Windows 8 sticker on the front. And so they were still making these computers all the way up through 2012. And this one, I think, dates from 2012. This one didn't actually come pre-installed with Windows. This was used as like a virtual server. It didn't have an operating system. It was set up in the BIOS to boot off a network card. But and USB bootable USB was disabled. So in order to install Windows 10 on it through a USB device, I had to actually go in the BIOS and set it to boot off of USB. By default, it wasn't set that way. It was set to boot off of the memory card reader. But yeah, it has a memory card reader. It has a DVD burner built in. Yeah, it has some legacy features. It actually has a floppy controller on the motherboard, although there is no floppy drive in this. So if you want to add a floppy drive, you could. It's got legacy PCI slots, but it also has two 16x PCI Express slots, which will allow you could put an RTX 3090 in this thing. You put like a Xeon X5690 processor, which is a 6-core 12-thread processor, and put a RTX 3090, this would be an epic gaming machine. And it's much, much cheaper than like a Ryzen system. Yes, it's not as fast, but you can upgrade it to where it's about 70% as fast as like a Ryzen 3600, which is good enough. And considering that you can still put in modern NVIDIA graphics card and it's still pretty decent. But yeah, so this is not my personal computer. This is going to be my girlfriend's computer. But it's just something I work on. I kind of tinker with computers as a hobby. And as you can tell, I used to be a computer tech. I used to run a computer repair shop back in Pensacola, Florida. Granted, a failed computer repair shop because I didn't make any money. But you know, I've been tinkering with computers for years. But anyway,
Wow.
so what's on your mind? We talked about the Dell Precision T3500. What else is on your mind?
So did you see WandaVision?
I did. I've seen the first 2 episodes. I think episode 3 is not coming out for the 22nd. I had mixed feelings about it at first, but the more I thought about it, I liked it. It's the first 2 episodes were a little bit slow for me, but it's building up a story and it's a mystery. There's like Easter eggs and there's teasers and it's like, you know, apparently maybe she's stuck in some kind of like parallel or a little, she's created her own little universe and she's confused. She apparently has severe amnesia. She couldn't remember the date on the calendar. And then you hear voices like, you know, apparently Sword, which is a division of Shield, is trying to contact her. They're like, Wanda, who did this to you? And so she apparently is sick, immobilized, and her powers have generated like um, a bubble universe, which is being investigated by Sword. There were Easter eggs for Stark Industries in one of the commercials. I loved how they did like I Love Lucy kind of parody, you know, from like 1950s sitcoms. And then by the end of episode 2, it was they started going into color. So it was like bewitched 1960s sitcoms. And I guess by episode 3, maybe they'll end up in like the 1970s. So yeah, it's a weird little bubble universe that WandaVision has created. It seems to be based on the House of M. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where they take it. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty entertaining. It was interesting to see a Marvel streaming show. The movie industry as we know it has been decimated by COVID-19, so the future is definitely in streaming. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good with the way they did the acting and retro sets that, you know, reminded me of like those old 50s and 60s sitcoms. What
Yeah,
was your opinion of it?
I thought it was awesome. I like the streaming thing. It feels like a movie but a TV show at the same time. It's like the best of both worlds, and I'm really curious to see where this is going because the last time we saw Wanda, she was in Avengers Endgame, right? And she was talking to, I think she was talking. I don't know who she was talking to. Um, I think it was Bucky, maybe, or she was talking to somebody. She was at Tony Stark's funeral, and like I really am curious to see this show, to see what happened to her, who put her in there, and why.
I've heard a theory that it could be Ultron. Ultron could have put her in there, but there was a teaser in one of the trailers. There was this, the watch commercial. I think it was in episode 2, where it had the Hydra symbol on the watch and the Hydra symbol in the commercial. So there's something involving Stark Industries and Hydra and the sword. And it's a little bit like House of M, where she's gone insane and created her own little bubble universe. I think that maybe she has a chip in her head or something. Maybe Ultron. This is Ultron's way of coming back by using Wanda, because Wanda had been allied with Ultron in Avengers: Age of Ultron, and before she turned on him. And so, and the loss of Vision and Avengers Endgame, I think that she's recreated Vision in this little parallel universe, or this little bubble universe that she's artificially created. And it's like, in a way to cope with losing her, her loved one, because she was romantically involved with Vision. But yeah, I mean, it looks interesting.
I
It's a
heard rumors.
mystery. It keeps me wanting to watch for more. I did think it was a little bit slow at times in the first 2 episodes, but they're building up atmosphere and they're building up a mystery. They're building up a pretense to the story. They're building up plot devices, and so it's interesting. I look forward to it. Yeah, so look forward to see more. I'll definitely look forward to seeing it on the 22nd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like what, every Friday? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it
I think
should
it's
be.
every Friday. I don't know how many episodes they see. I'm going to Google that number of episodes in Wandavision, because they got all the episodes produced, but they just haven't released them yet. Season 1. I know they used to, like, Netflix was notorious for this. They would just release the entire. Oh wait. Yeah. Let me look here. Yeah, Wikipedia, they only list the first 2 episodes. On Google, they only list 3 episodes. I don't how many season 1, how many episodes. I'm assuming it's going to be like The Mandalorian. I can't really seem to find concrete answer. But yeah, I think they've learned their lesson that if you release an entire season like Netflix does, like Netflix when they used to do Marvel shows like Daredevil and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, they would release an entire season all at one time, and a lot of times people would get bored after the first couple episodes or not bother to watch the rest of it. And so, with them only releasing, like they did that with The Mandalorian, now they're doing that with WandaVision, only releasing 1 episode per week, it leaves people for anticipation to watch and want for more. So it's really good marketing on that sense, I think. But yeah, I'm assuming it's only going to be like 8 episodes, like The Mandalorian, because they're doing really high quality production to try to keep it in sync with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And usually you have to cut back because you can't make as much money off the streaming as you used to pre-COVID with movies. Now, movie theaters in the United States have mostly gone out of business. Drive-in theaters will probably come back. Uh, in a lot of ways, we are definitely regressing in America. So, like, what is old is new again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that'll be interesting.
know, it kind of sucks. I kind of like going to the movies and, watching it in the big screen, and I don't want all the movie theaters to go away, it sucks. And what is this supposed to mean? So if they make movies for Disney Plus, they're going to have to lower the budget? They can't make it like a movie budget?
I have no idea.
That would suck.
I would have, it's been a year ago. I would have never predicted everything that's happened in 2020. 2020 was a pretty horrible year, and 2021 has already started out as a horrible year. But yeah, I mean, especially with Donald Trump is still a clear and present danger to the United States, even though he's still in power for 3 more days. This is January the 17th, 2021. He could still incite another riot. I know that he's supposed to have another Trump rally the day of President Joe Biden's inauguration to do a farewell rally. And I'm really worried that he's going to incite more violence, like he did on January the 6th. And I also worry that Donald Trump his movement could very well lead to a civil war, a second American Civil War, because they've already tried to overthrow the legislative branch of the government by storming the Capitol building, and they wanted to murder Vice President Pence, and they wanted to murder Nancy Pelosi, AOC, anybody who they viewed as an enemy. There were 3 members of Congress, including that congresswoman from Colorado, Laura Bobart. She's a really, really bad person. She was tweeting the location of Nancy Pelosi. In my opinion, she should be removed from Congress. If she doesn't resign, she should be impeached. But Trumpism is not going to go away just because he leaves power on the 20th. He could have rallies go around the country, have rallies as an ex-president, and incite more violence. So only time will tell. But I saw some disturbing imagery of National Guard troops sleeping in the Capitol building because there's no place other to sleep other than on the floor. And so they're on guard and on alert 24/7 to protect members of Congress. And also National Guard troops are there to protect Joe Biden while he gets sworn in, because a lot of Trumpists have done threats to Joe Biden's life, and they have threatened the president-elect. And so they're going to have to do very heavy security, because there's going to be people who want to riot at Joe Biden's inauguration because they're not going to view him as legitimate. These are dangerous times. The danger's not over yet. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, anything else on your mind? You still want to talk more about WandaVision or politics, or what else is on your mind, Daniel?
I loved WandaVision. I liked so the first 2 episodes were one big episode. It was episode 1.1 and episode 1.2. And they're saying that the lady with the dark hair that introduced herself to Wanda in the very beginning, they're saying that's Agatha Harkness. That's Agatha Harkness, and they're saying she put Wanda in there. It's like Agatha Harkness and Mephisto got together to put. That's what I'm hearing. They got together to put her in that bubble reality for some reason. I don't know. And it's going to be like House of M. Have you ever read House of M? At the end of House of M,
I've never read it. I've heard about it.
She went insane, and she said no more mutants, and then all the mutants disappeared. That was when Marvel had to sell the mutants at 20th Century Fox, so they created a story where Wanda went nuts and destroyed all the mutants in House of M. For some reason, I don't know, and maybe because she lost her kids or something, I don't know. And so this is going to be
they're going to do the next Doctor Strange movie based on her madness. Doctor Strange and the Multitude of Madness. The rumor is that Wanda is going to be the villain in that movie.
Yeah.
Like an accidental villain. She's not an intentional villain, but she's lost her mind, and she's opened up rifts to parallel universes, and she's altering the fabric of reality with her powers, and she's just not aware. She's so insane. Doctor Strange has to stop her. I'm assuming that's what I heard, that the basic premise of Doctor Strange and the
Yeah.
Multitude of Madness. But it's unclear if that movie will be released. Let me look that up real quick. Let's see. It's set to be released in 2022. I guess that's a good call because the chaos with COVID in the U.S. economy is not going to resolve itself. So I don't even know what 2022 is going to look like, because with like Regal cinemas permanently going bankrupt and out of business, where are you going to even show movies? I know that there's a couple of drive-through movie theaters in California, but they're far away. There's nothing close to LA. And then you got to have a car. A lot of people like me, I don't even own a car. I don't own any kind of vehicle. I'm tight on money. I'm just in survival mode. But yeah, and so where are you going to even show movies if all the movie theaters have permanently gone out of business, with the exception of maybe drive-in movie theaters? It's going to take a while to restructure. Like I said, I was telling my girlfriend the other day, I don't think things are going to totally go back to normal. I think we're going to think of things in terms of before COVID and after COVID. This has permanently changed our society. Even with the vaccine, there's several mutated strains of the virus, and yeah, so
Yeah, it's like Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, everything was different, right? You got the post-crisis multiverse, right? And everything is like the same but different. It's post-crisis, so it's like we're in post. I don't know if we're in post-crisis right now, but we will be, and it'll be completely, well, not completely different, but somewhat different, right?
yeah.
I'm gonna miss going to theaters, because I used to go to theaters all the time. Well, I watched Toy Story in theaters. I watched a lot of movies. Pokemon, the first movie, in theaters. I watched the last movie me and Mom went to watch was in 2015. It was that movie with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. Forgot what that movie was called, but it was like Tom Cruise was, no, wait, like Jamie Foxx was a cab driver, and Tom Cruise was like this guy with white hair, and you know whatever. I think it's, no, I think it was it Collateral? I don't know, but it was a good movie. That was the last movie we saw in theaters. And wait,
So
hold on a
that
second.
was a
Actually,
while ago. That was a long while ago.
yeah.
Yeah, that would have been Collateral. I just looked it up on IMDb. That would have been Collateral 2004. So that was a long time ago. You haven't been to a
Mm-hmm.
movie theater in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That was like 16 years ago.
So yeah, it was an interesting movie, and
I never saw the movie. It looked very contrived to me.
yeah, Tom Cruise, his movies are all running and jumping and fighting. He's a cool actor. I think he's a cool actor, and
Yeah, I like him as an actor. He's picked some really good movies and really bad movies to star in. One of my all-time, or actually one of my all-time favorite movies. Actually, it changes from year to year, but like right now, I would say, yeah, Vanilla Sky. Actually, no, Vanilla Sky is my second favorite movie of all time. My favorite movie of all time would be Donnie Darko. But Vanilla Sky, starring Tom Cruise, I thought that was a really good movie. Have you seen that movie?
I saw parts of that movie, Vanilla Sky.
Really good movie, really good psychodrama, and it has a. I don't want to put any spoilers for those of you who hadn't seen it, but yeah, if you hadn't seen Vanilla Sky, very underrated movie. Very good movie. 2001 had Penelope Cruz and Tom Cruise, and this was when Tom Cruise was dating Penelope Cruz. There was some controversy behind the scene because Tom Cruise was still technically married to Nicole Kidman, and he apparently cheated on her with Penelope Cruz, and then they were an item for a few years. And
Like, why would anybody want to leave Nicole Kidman? She's gorgeous. The first movie I saw her in was Batman Forever in 1995. Holy crap! When you saw her, like the first time I saw her, she was on the cover of that movie. She was gorgeous. I was like, oh man.
I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors with some of these celebrities. I don't know. Who knows?
What Melissa Benoist, right? Like her previous husband or boyfriend before the one she has now, who was like abusing her. She came out and she said, "Oh, I was being abused. He beat me. He chased me around, and like he did so many horrible things to me." And I'm thinking to myself, why would they do that to her? Like, why would anybody do that to anybody? I mean,
oh, Supergirl. Well, she should have used her laser vision and burn him. That way.
Mm-hmm.
She could always fly away if she gets abused. Now, I probably shouldn't joke about that. But
it's like I would have worshipped her if remember the time when she left her abusive husband. She got a divorce from him. Like, remember you told me, like, oh, you should go for her. She's single, and I'm like, I wish I could. I really wish I could, but I don't know. I mean,
so she left her abusive husband. Supergirl's canceled though, right?
Is it? No, I think it's getting another season.
Well, okay. I don't think they're gonna do past. Okay, let me look. Supergirl. It's either canceled or it's about to be canceled. Let me look. Okay, IMDb is not telling me what I need to know. Supergirl. Yeah, it says here on Google, Supergirl's 20-episode sixth and final season will premiere in 2021. Okay, so it's essentially canceled. They're going to have one more season. It's going to be the sixth season, and that's going to be it. I haven't followed Supergirl lately because the show has really bored me to death. I used to be interested in it, but I don't know. I just got bored with it.
Yeah,
what's your
has
opinion?
gotten a little bit boring.
What?
It has gotten a little bit boring. I don't know why. I watch it because of Supergirl. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's amazing. I love to look at her. But
what was the last time you watched Supergirl? What was the last episode that you watched?
The last episode I think was the Crisis episode where we saw Earth 89. That was taught
I think that was the last one I saw too.
Yeah, and then actually wait, no, wait a second, hold on. I watched an episode or two after that. They were in the merged Earth Prime universe, and Luthor is now, Lex Luthor is now the head of the DEO. And
we got to wrap up. We got to wrap up. I want to keep this to a half hour. Plus, I have to go to the restroom. But
anyways, you know what?
We got to wrap up. We got to hold up. Hold that thought. We'll hold that thought for next podcast. We got to wrap up. We're already at, I think, the 29-minute mark, and I got to go to the bathroom anyway. So there's no sense in having an empty chair here in front of the webcam. But anyway, this is Steampunk Starraisin, episode 14 of The World is a Mess, and I just want to steampunk it. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Daniel, for joining me. And this is January 17th, 2021. You have a nice day, and I will see you 25 billion years. I will.
Bye.